What is up, everybody? Welcome on into another stream. Welcome on into another show. It's the Den of Nerds, and man, we're going to have a ton of fun, nerdy things to get into today. It is Wednesday, February 5th, the day after the Fantastic Four trailer dropped, and I still have a lot to talk about with regards to that trailer. I want to sort of talk about the impact of that trailer, how positive I think fans have been towards it, what we can expect out of this July, with, of course, Fantastic Four, Superman, and the new Jurassic World movie, which just debuted a trailer this morning as well. So there's still plenty to get into with regards to that. I have a lot of thoughts. In fact, I think there's going to be videos, man. I think there's so much that they're potentially hiding within that trailer that we're going to discuss some of it today. But I think it's worthy of its own series of videos because it's real freaking cool. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about a little bit of, well, not the best Marvel news out there, as there is some new clips for the Captain America movie, and the Captain America clips. I think we're going to end up just watching those on stream together and expressing our emotions. Kind of wild because they're being widely clowned on by a lot of different people out there in the media, and I think for good reason. I don't think they're very good, so all of a sudden I'm back to being concerned about Captain America Brave New World. So we'll get into that, and then of course we have to get into the big story of the day, a story that, to my surprise, I mean, has absolutely blown up over the past couple of days. I was looking at some of the different tweets about this, some of the videos that people have made about this, and this popped off for whatever reason, and that is Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, and rumors that Kevin Feige is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back. And then yesterday, a TMZ article. I mean, holy, like the fact that TMZ is out here literally doing like follow-up articles on this situation and basically trying to explain to all of us crazy fans that that's not going to happen, that Majors is not going to be coming back in at least anytime soon. So we'll get into that because there's technically, if you look at what both articles say, the truth is somewhat in the middle, but this was something that I was already going to touch on today, and now we have even more context. So I feel that we have to get into that, and I feel like I have to explain what I think is actually going on and what are the actual chances of this happening. And so we'll get into all of that. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good stream. I also want to talk a little bit about Invincible Season 3, because that comes out tomorrow, and I am quite excited. I have a video that's going to drop later today, which is designed to just get you completely hyped up for Invincible Season 3, but also a ton of information in this video, man. I did a lot of research. I wanted to sort of give you all the reasons as to why Invincible Season 3 is going to pop off, why that show is getting its aura back, why things are different. This is no longer a Season 2 situation. This is Season 3 of Invincible, and I think we're off to the races. The video is dope. I think you're going to enjoy it, but I also want to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks for tuning in wherever you're tuning in at. We do this show live, of course, at 11 a.m. So a lot of you are watching this right now live, but we're also putting this up on podcast feeds. If you're listening to this on the podcast feed, appreciate you. And because of that and because of the new format, we're going to keep Q&A and a lot of the questions and talking to chat for later on in the episode. But, man, I am really looking forward to getting into that conversation with you guys. I'm absolutely certain we're going to get some incredible questions about the Fantastic Four today. You know, maybe some Fantastic Four versus Superman questions. I'm damn sure we'll get a lot of those questions, and those are going to be cool. I'm sure you guys will have a lot to say about Captain America and the clips, and so I'm excited to talk to you about that. And then, of course, the Jonathan Majors situation. That's going to stir up a whole bunch of feelings and opinions. And so we'll get into that as well. As far as for show notes and what people should be looking out for, tonight at 7:30, we are doing a members stream. This will be a stream for all of the paying members here on the live YouTube channel or over on the Twitch. It's the first week of the month, so it means it's going to be pretty casual. We're just going to do like a Q&A tonight, but I think it's going to be dope, man. If you're a member and maybe you've had a couple of questions about some of the stuff going on with me or the channel or even the Fantastic Four trailer itself or Superman, this, that, second, and third, these streams are a great way for you to get in there, get your question answered, and I can really take my time and just hang out with the members, and we can get into some cool conversations. So we'll do that tonight at 7:30. I think it's going to be hyped. And then the other thing to keep in mind is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Quick, somebody in chat, tell me, when does the Super Bowl trailers, when does the Super Bowl game start on Sunday? When does that start, chat? Somebody help me out. Is it 6? Is it 6:30? Is it 7? 5:36? Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure when we will be live, but we'll be live basically right as we're getting into the Super Bowl. The main point of the stream on Sunday is to react to all the Super Bowl trailers. Although, you take a look at what's happening this week, and it's like, why the hell is it? What the hell's going on with the Super Bowl? Nobody's doing trailers for the Super Bowl anymore? Fantastic Four drops theirs on a freaking Tuesday morning. Jurassic World's dropping theirs Wednesday morning. What the hell? What the hell is even that? Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll still get the Thunderbolts trailer. We should still have a Superman trailer, which technically will drop for the Puppy Bowl, but we can break that down on Sunday. So it's gonna be a good time, man. We will have fun on Sunday. If you're not doing anything for the Super Bowl, come on by for the stream. It'll be fun. We'll give some commentary for the game. But even if you're out watching the Super Bowl, you know, checking out a party or hanging out, after those big trailers come out, like mainly Thunderbolts, you're probably going to want to sneak to the bathroom and check out the live stream because we'll be breaking it down live. It's going to be a good time. So come on by for that. Going to be a good time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, should we get into the stories today? Should we just begin to get into the news? And also, as I said at the top, I am excited to get into Q&A with you guys and just get into more of your thoughts about all of this too, because a lot of stuff to get into. A lot of stuff to get into. So let me do a thing. Okay, let's begin. And you know what? Let's start by talking about the Fantastic Four trailer. Now, of course, this dropped yesterday. We did a reaction stream to it. Then I did a breakdown video of the trailer later on. And this is obviously a big deal. Fantastic Four, huge Marvel property, the big, basically summer movie for Marvel Studios. A movie that I think is in direct competition with Superman. Maybe other people don't feel that way. I do. I feel like it's in direct competition with Superman. And so this trailer is obviously a super big deal. And I wanted to kind of give you more of my thoughts because I know we hung out and we watched the reaction together. And man, what a weird situation. I still don't know about that countdown, about going for a full hour of countdown and then going into some weird interview with the cast and all of that. I still didn't love all of that. Didn't think it really set the trailer up well. But the trailer itself was pretty great. And I liked it in the moment. But man, I got to tell you guys, the more I watched that thing yesterday, the more I was breaking it down. I was in the trenches with that thing. Whew, I was blown away. I liked it more and more and more the more that I watched it, which I don't know. That's pretty good, you know. And I think ultimately the trailer wins everywhere it needed to win. You know, showing us the vibe, the design of these characters. I think it wins. I think as far as the overall aesthetic and look of the movie itself, oh man, just great, clean, great costuming. I think the effects look great. I mean, you know, we don't see all of the effects, obviously, but from what we see, looks really great. Johnny looks great on fire. Ben Grimm, who I think is like, you know, maybe the main focus of the trailer itself, just looks incredible. You know, I have a sort of a thing here. People are bringing up that he looks exactly like an Alex Ross painting, which is really cool. So I think the overall look of Ben, incredible. I think Sue kind of steals the show. And obviously Vanessa Kirby is beautiful, but she also feels like she's embodying the mother that is Sue Storm. And the focus on family and that aspect of these characters was on full display in that trailer, and I think it was very, very successful. So just even more love for the trailer coming from me after, having broken it down and really spent some time in there. But there are a lot of things that are not in the trailer. And I find it to be kind of interesting how much they are hiding or teasing or, keeping close to the vest, however you want to say it. There's just a lot of stuff that we don't see in the trailer. So let's talk about that for a second. Number one, we don't see Reed Richards using his powers at all in the trailer, which is pretty odd. I mean, look, Reed's stretchy powers are not necessarily like a huge draw to the overall Fantastic Four thing, but it is kind of strange that we see the powers of Johnny, we see the powers of Ben, we see the powers of Sue, and we don't see any of Reed's stretchy abilities. Curious move. Ultimately, for me, the Reed Richards character, his true power is his genius. So in some ways, it kind of works because I still feel like it's Reed, and I still felt like the idea of Reed was on full display for the trailer, and it works with the dynamic. But it is kind of interesting. No stretchy for Mr. Pedro Pascal. That's kind of wild. We don't see the Silver Surfer at all, which is kind of interesting. The Silver Surfer in this film will be Shallow Bow. It'll be a female Silver Surfer, and she still is going to be the Herald of Galactus. She's still like the sort of pre-boss baddie or whatever, right? Galactus is obviously the big bad, but Silver Surfer, I think, is going to represent, obviously the herald of the big bad and somewhat of a conflict for the Fantastic Four themselves. And we didn't see anything for the Silver Surfer either, which is kind of interesting. And then the other thing that I frankly can't believe that they hid is Franklin Richards. This is wild and kind of vexing to me. I mean, the movie is called First Steps, and you could take that to mean like, one small step for man, one huge step for mankind or whatever, like that kind of a concept where the first steps into a big, larger world. But a lot of us think it refers to Franklin Richards and the actual first steps of a child and of a character that is incredibly important. I want to show you this on the screen here. This is pretty cool. So this is a piece of Boss Logic artwork, and it's a baby bottle, and it has like whole universes inside the baby bottle. And this is just a little something that Boss Logic whipped up, and it says here, all roads lead to this, hashtag the Fantastic Four. And he kind of made like a makeshift version of the Fantastic Four First Steps poster. Unless the rumors are completely off. And like that, I mean, could that happen? Sure. The likelihood of us being so far off that like Franklin isn't even in this movie is very unlikely. I think Franklin is a safe bet. And so it's fascinating that Franklin is not in this trailer whatsoever. I mean, I wonder if, the rationale is that that's too wild of a concept, or they maybe wanted to sell the mainstream audience on just the Fantastic Four and those vibes before they introduce the children, because then it becomes like the Fantastic Five or the Fantastic Six, I guess, from a certain perspective. But yeah, I mean, that's wild. So basically, what ended up for me initially being a curiosity, and I was like, I kind of wanted a little bit more. Over time, especially when I looked at the reaction that fans were having, it became clear that they didn't need to put that in there. That hiding this stuff and just showing us the bare bones of the vibes of this thing and really selling us off of that is a successful idea. Like, that has worked. I have seen so many different people reacting to this thing very positively online. I'm very curious, chat. What do you think? Did you see the same thing? But as far as what I saw a ton of people very high on this film, saying it looked incredible. A lot of people gushing, saying that it looks perfect. I saw a lot of people within like the comic book sphere saying that it feels like it captures that sort of Jack Kirby, early Stan Lee energy. And that's very successful. I saw a lot of people that are normally Marvel retractors or detractors or John Deere tractors. Like, you know what I'm talking about? The people that normally crap on Marvel. I saw a lot of those people even saying that it looks good, which is very good for, you know, the outcome of this movie. I think overall, people have responded incredibly positively to this first teaser trailer. And it shocks me because there's so much they're holding back. It's a true teaser, in my opinion. And it's keeping a lot of mystery. It's hiding a lot of aspects. So that's dope. Again, I don't think yesterday was perfect. And I we're not getting any announcements from Disney as far as like, oh, this is one of the most watched trailers of all time. You know, the Superman trailer claimed to do like, 250 million views in the first 24 hours, which a lot of us are like, I don't know about that. We haven't had any announcements like that from Marvel, so I don't imagine it's making as much of a social media impact as maybe the Superman trailer did. I wonder if that's because of the way they released this thing. I wonder if maybe there's just a lot more potential interest and curiosity in what DC is cooking up with its first live action movie, like Gunn's first Superman. There maybe is just more of an inherent draw to that. Again, I thought the whole thing they did yesterday morning was whack, bro. Like, I would have just dropped the trailer, maybe did the countdown later in the day, not tried to force the interview thing and that whole situation. But ultimately, the juice is there, man. This trailer's really, really good. Better than I gave it credit for initially. And I'm really excited. It also made me think, one last thing on this trailer and Marvel in general, right? Because, you know, a lot of us here in the community, a lot of us that watch the content, you know, we're big Marvel heads, and Marvel has had its ups and downs. And I think we were super curious to see this first look, to get a sense of what this film would look like, and basically imagine what version of Marvel are we getting with this, and how will it feel as a Marvel fan moving out of these first couple of months. The thing that struck me, you know, I was thinking about this last night, is that this trailer is really good. Again, they're not even showing everything. They're teasing and hiding mysteries, but it's very good looking. Thunderbolts trailer, even the one we already have, is phenomenal. Like, it's phenomenal. It's an incredible trailer. And the buzz on that movie is real. Like, people are saying it's going to be a sleeper hit. People are saying that once people get a better look at what Thunderbolts is, it's going to pop off. Thunderbolts, I think it's got the gas, man. And I think this Super Bowl trailer with Thunderbolts might just pop off, man. Like, in fact, I'll tell you that I have heard some people say that the Thunderbolts Super Bowl trailer is even better than this Fantastic Four trailer, which is wild. You know what I mean? Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind when we are, all together on Sunday, right? But if the Thunderbolts trailer pops off the way I think it will, man, there's just a lot of hype for the Marvel projects that are coming out. And I keep thinking to myself, if we can just get past Captain America Brave New World, and I got to cringe a little bit when I say it, but it's true. Just walk with me on this, man. If we can just get past Captain America Brave New World, then I think we might just be in the clear. And I think Marvel might have some serious firepower coming out this year. I mean, Daredevil looks incredible. I think that show's going to pop off. Thunderbolts, surprise hit. If Sentry looks really good this Sunday, might be the talk of the town. And then we've got Fantastic Four. This first trailer I think it crushed it. It understood the assignment. I think the fans are all on board. A big old hell yeah. The only problem is kind of like getting past Captain America, Brave New World. So, as a Marvel fan, feeling really good about a lot of shit. Feeling really good about this comeback and the potential future Marvel projects. We just got to get past Captain America Brave New World. Now, on that note, maybe this is like a great little transition here. We're gonna have to talk about these clips, man. We got to talk about. we got to go from being super excited about Fantastic Four, and we got to talk a little bit about these clips here for Das Captain America: Brave New World. Now, let me get this pulled up here. I saw Paul posted about this earlier, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. So I'm actually going to try to pull his thing up here. Let me see. He had such a good response, and it was kind of popping off. So let's see if it is still up here. You know what? I'm just gonna have to get the clip. But Paul basically tweeted something like, "I'm gonna need you guys to go do some more reshoots on this." Okay, so what the hell's going on? Like, what am I even talking about here? Well, basically, guys, Captain America: Brave New World comes out next week. All right. And we've been on a roller coaster ride. We've been on a roller coaster ride of emotion with regards to this movie. A lot of rumors about reshoots, a lot of rumors that the screenings have been going poorly. You've got, like, all of a sudden this contingent of fans out there that wants to act like the entire sense-making apparatus for rumors and leaks over the past couple of years is suddenly completely wrong about Captain America, and there weren't all those reshoots, and all the bad buzz was completely overblown. It's crazy to me. I even saw in the interaction that Paul was having, he was talking about, you know, the reshoots. He was just making a joke about it. And there were people in the comment section, like, arguing with him, being like, "You're spreading false narratives from rumors." And Paul had to, like, just kind of put this person in their place because, dude, like, we're in it, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we know a lot of these people. We talk to people behind the scenes. A lot of the insiders and scoopers have been, you know, giving us a lot of details about this for years. It's absurd to out of nowhere believe that entire apparatus is flawed and spreading fake narratives. No, the truth is Marvel Studios has had a lot of problems with Captain America. Marvel Studios did do multiple rounds of reshoots on Captain America. There were multiple negative screenings for Captain America, and Marvel Studios has seemingly put a lot of energy and resources into trying to make this movie a lot better. And I got to be honest, over the last couple of weeks, it was kind of working. At least for me, over the last couple of weeks, a lot of the trailers, the TV spots, you know, they keep giving us a little bit more of the Red Hulk in that fight. It was really starting to work for me. I don't know if you guys noticed, you know, on the different streams and the videos, but your boy started to get excited for the movie. I started to think, man, this thing looks pretty slick. I wonder if everybody was wrong. I wonder if this movie's going to pop the fuck off. And I wonder if after it does, I will accept Anthony Mackie as Captain America. And I'll be like, no, this is Cap. You know, quiet all the noise, quiet all the haters. This movie's incredible. Marvel did it. And Sam Wilson has earned his place as Captain America. Okay? However, that was all before they started releasing actual clips from the movie. And I don't know whose genius idea it was to do this. Let me just tell you, this was a bad idea. Whoever started to do this, bad idea, man. Whoever started to clip these things out and put these things out, man, bad idea, bro. 2 different clips have hit the internet of footage from Captain America: Brave New World, and both of them have been almost universally clowned on. Okay, now this is kind of similar to the Superman cross-eyed weird face swap face. It's just a lens thing that happened with the Superman trailer. What I mean is, Superman trailer comes out, it looks weird. Most normal people are like, that looks weird. You know, maybe some of them didn't think it was a big deal, but it looked weird, okay? And yet you had a bunch of people saying, I have no idea what people are talking about. This looks like completely normal and fine to me. And that is what it is. But the majority of people said it looked weird. That's what's going on with these clips. The majority of people are saying that this sucks. There are some people, just like with the Superman thing, there are some people that are like, no, this is fine. I don't see what anybody's saying about this. And so I guess you're always just going to have that. But from what I've seen, people have been clowning on these clips. And I will tell you that I watched both of these clips and I was like, bro, what is this movie? So you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to watch them. Yeah, we're going to watch both of them. They're only about a minute. I think 2 minutes, the other one. We're going to watch them both together. Let's watch the clips. Let's react to the clips together, and then let's ask ourselves the question of what the hell is going on with this movie.
Not that hard. I heard your rib go. You need a minute?
Nope. Let's get this over with. I got shit to do today.
Damn. Nobody saw that. Sam, package is secured.
I'll add your star to my collection. Need a minute? That's what I thought.
Okay. So the thing is, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. It's just lame. Like, I don't know what else to say. It just is lame. The vibe feels a little off. It feels kind of campy and cheesy. And what's wild is, like, we've seen a lot from the trailers and the different sort of tense moments and the punchiness of the plot, some of the stakes. And we get this sequence here, and man, it just feels odd. I don't know what's going on with the Falcon here, why he's doing TikTok dances after taking all the bad guys out and stuff. That's a little weird. The dialogue between these two here is strange. Sam is getting his ass completely handed to him just by some fucking guy, and he's supposed to be able to take out the Red Hulk. And I generally just don't like the vibe of these scenes, and I don't like the dialogue and the sort of corny cheesiness. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of scary because it feels like this is the movie trying really hard to be classic Marvel movie, and yet not nailing it, not nailing the assignment. We've got another one here. Let's watch this one together and see what you guys think about it. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you guys love these clips, and maybe Captain America's going to be all right.
Just stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Here we go. Out the bird! I'm the prize. I'm the target, man. Don't think about
That's enough. If Dr. Eccles asks, you tell her I did the whole 5 miles. And look.
We touched down in Tokyo at 0600.
You still think this is a bad idea?
Sir, whoever orchestrated the attack on the White House is still in the wild. International travel brings security risks we can't anticipate.
We barely got Congress together on this thing. We lose our international partners. This treaty's toast. I have to make this work.
3 miles and change. I'll let Dr. Eccles know.
5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is exposition, not even well acted exposition, and it just feels odd. It just feels like such a weird scene to put in out there as far as like clips to promote the movie. I mean, we're getting all these really slick action sequences and shots of like Red Hulk freaking the fuck out, and then we've got a shot of old Harrison Ford barely able to move on a Peloton, and then delivering a bunch of exposition about a coming international treaty thing. It just, I don't know, man. I mean, I love Harrison Ford, and I think Harrison Ford can do some goddamn exposition for sure. But this feels really bad and really clanky. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. A lot of people, like I said, are clowning on these scenes. I don't think I'm alone. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think this is completely and totally fine. But I mean, considering the narrative of the film, right? And what I mean is like the narrative that they've had a lot of reshoots and a lot of problems, and the movie was kind of flat, et cetera, et cetera. Why would you choose to show two separate scenes, which I think just seem like such random picks from the film, and they really just give off the vibe of like different parts of the whole that are trying to fit together to create something that works. This scene with Harrison Ford is not like, this is an in-between scene. This is a scene that gives context to other scenes. This is something that potentially was done during reshoots to try to tie this together. It's a really shitty exposition scene, and it's just weird to promote the movie using that. And the other scene as well, I just think it's weird. It almost feels like we're being shown two different movies, and one of them is like, oh man, it's badass and tense, and I love the sound effects and all the craziness, and the stylized action is going to be really, really crazy. And then it kind of feels like there are parts of the movie that are like a student film where they're trying to like do their best parody of Captain America and what a Captain America movie would look like. I don't know if that makes perfect sense, but god damn, this doesn't look good. And it's got me really nervous. Now, as far as the deal with the movie, obviously this is a huge piece of like we're all pretty fucking curious to see, you know, is this movie going to be good? Maybe the person that picked these clips was just like a hater or very bad at their job or something. Maybe it will be fine. But we're going to find out very, very shortly here. The social media embargo will lift February 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that'll be Tuesday. Let me double check that, but I believe that'll be Tuesday. The 11th, yep, that'll be Tuesday. So that'll be around 1 p.m. So that'll happen as we are live. We'll definitely start to look at those reviews as they roll out, and I'll probably do a collected video later on in the day. The actual review embargo will pop off the following day, and that's about 2 days before release. But for many of us that are going to go on Thursday, technically a day before release. Okay, so we're gonna find out. And next week, I think they'll probably have the world premiere Monday night. They'll do a little red carpet thing. That's usually the norm there, right? And maybe we'll get some first social media reactions even that night. They're technically not supposed to go up until the next day. It'll probably be the next day and into the morning when we start to see them all. That is going to be a very telling moment. I cannot wait. I think you're going to hear one of three things, chat. One of three things. Okay? You're either going to hear from a bunch of people that the movie's really good and the narrative was incorrect, and that a lot of the negative buzz is undeserving, that the movie's really good, they somehow pulled it off, it's a great Marvel movie and everybody should be excited. Or you'll hear that the narrative is correct and that the movie's pretty sloppy, there's like fun in it. I would imagine the way that people will frame it is they'll be like, hey, you know what? The movie has some really slick action. Harrison Ford's Red Hulk is dope. Anthony Mackie delivers some cold-ass lines. But ultimately, the movie feels flat and it doesn't totally work because of this reason, that reason, etc. That's like the second option. And then the third option, which I think would be a nightmare scenario, is this is a big old bag of dog shit and Marvel lied to us and it's absolutely terrible. And I think that's like basically that would be people saying that the narrative is wrong because it's even worse. It's even worse than one can imagine. So I don't know, guys. I mean, obviously I'm going to see the movie. I'm going to see it. And actually this will be the first movie that Elisa and I are going to go to together for some time. towards the end of pregnancy, like she was, didn't really want to sit in a movie theater like that. And then Athena was so little at the beginning of the year that we didn't really want to do much. Next week will be the first time that we can actually go to the movies together. So that's going to be cool. Hopefully she's not really mad at me because I dragged her to like a mediocre Marvel movie. Hopefully it's actually really good and we're both excited about it and we have a good time. I'm going to be there. I'm going to get the fancy popcorn bucket. I'm going to fill my gut with popcorn and I'm going to sit back and hopefully enjoy a fun comic book movie with some dope Red Hulk shit. And I think I'm looking for Sam Wilson to kind of earn his place as Cap. And I hope that the movie accomplishes that. But also, I'm going to be paying attention to those critic reports. I'm going to kind of be adjusting, my expectations accordingly. Because, man, the whole story and the narrative on this one's pretty wild. So this is one of those stories that I'm really looking forward to getting into the Q&A so that we can kind of hear what you guys think about this. A lot to this, man. Potentially a disaster for Marvel. But we'll see. We'll see. I didn't like those clips. I don't think those clips did the movie any favors. But that's just me. Okay, let's move on to the main topic of the day. Something that blew up, and I honestly did not expect it to blow up in the way that it did. What am I talking about here? I'm talking about Jonathan Majors returning to the MCU. This blew up, man. This blew up, okay? So a couple of days ago, there's an exclusive about how Kevin Feige is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back to the MCU. Now, what I thought was going on is this is just like another one of those Marvel rumors. You have an outlet here in Screen Geek, and we can click through into this article here. They're saying that they have an actual exclusive, and what they say here is, according to our sources, Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back into the MCU. The idea is for Majors to appear in a future Marvel project to wrap up some loose ends with Kang and close out the character's story. Fascinating there, okay? And this is a big exclusive from Screen Geek. Now, this blew up way more than I thought it would, okay? Even the tweet that I made about this has like over 5,000 likes, 150,000 views. I saw a lot of other people talking about this in videos or, different posts on social media. It blew up. And a lot of you guys hit me up and you wanted to get my opinion on it. And initially, as I say here in my tweet, honestly, they should do it. Redeem Kang in the next saga. Why not? And let me kind of walk you through the thought process there, because a lot of people are like, but you're one of the biggest Kang haters out there. Why are you kind of changing your tune, or why are you okay with Jonathan Majors coming back? Well, let me try to put this all into perspective for you. Kang as a character, I think, is fine, but he's nowhere near as interesting as a lot of other Marvel villains, right? Doctor Doom, Thanos, Ultron, even Magneto. Like, these are all way more interesting, way more badass villains to me. And Kang, he's all right. I've read some stories with Kang that are super cool. And I think Kang can be cool, but overall, I'm like over it. When Kang was initially introduced at the end of Loki season 1, I thought it was really cool because what a random place for that to happen. I remember folks doubted that they would introduce such a big character as like the next big bad of the entire saga. They would not do that just on a regular like Disney Plus show. And of course they did. And I thought Jonathan Majors crushed it in that scene at the end of Loki season 1. And I think at that point there was a lot of promise for what they could be doing with Kang and what Jonathan Majors could do with the character. And so at that point I was actually pretty hyped up on Kang. But over time, I felt like they just kind of meandered and maybe wasted potential. And then Quantumania happened, which was really supposed to be the sort of coming out party for Jonathan Majors and Kang. And that's one of my least favorite Marvel movies of all time. To me, the floor fell out for Kang in that movie. It was lame. The introduction of the character was lame. He got beat up by ants. It just wasn't great, And then beyond that, when we get to Loki season 2, the portrayal of Victor Timely from Jonathan Majors was another like stuttering, bumbling, version of Kang. And at that point, I was just kind of over it, right? And also, of course, this is around the time that Majors, has his court case. He's arrested, charges are filed, and then we had a long wait for that trial. I'm sure a lot of you remember that trial was delayed, and then finally, he was convicted late in that year. And that entire time, there were all kinds of rumors about what would be happening, what Marvel Studios would do. And I latched on to the Doctor Doom rumors because I'm a massive Doctor Doom fan. I think Doctor Doom's the best. I also always thought that Doctor Doom made a lot more sense as the villain for Secret Wars than Kang. You got your time travel guy, but this is multiverse, this is Battle World, so it just never connected for me. So I always thought Doom was the guy. And especially during that whole time where you're literally making terrible Marvel movies, the character being portrayed in a terrible way, Majors is in trouble, and it brings all this drama and attention. At that moment, I was like, nah, man, you got to go into Doctor Doom. And I stand by that, and I'm very glad that that's what they're doing. In my opinion, even if Majors had not gotten into trouble, this Kang shit probably wouldn't have popped off the same way. Like, I just don't think it would have been as epic as what I think we're about to see with RDJ's Doctor Doom and that whole situation. It just wouldn't have been able to compare. So to me, I think you needed Doom. I'm glad that we're doing Doom, and that's all well and good. Now, ultimately, for Majors, he has not only been convicted, but I believe he is serving out his sentencing. He's in anger management. I think he's like going to counseling. And there were additional charges filed by his ex, which were dropped. So from, the perspective of like Jonathan Majors as, let's just face it, either a risk or not, things have improved for him. And I do think, especially if you pay your debt to society and you go through some kind of reform, that forgiveness is good. And I also think there's a lot of fans that look at the Major situation and think there was a lot of unfair shit there, whether or not it was a prejudice of the police officers, of the judge, whether or not, these things happen. We're not lawyers, right? We don't ultimately decide. But anytime there's a big court case like this, you'll find people on both sides kind of dug in, with the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard thing. You still have people to this day that will defend Amber Heard and then will defend Johnny or whatever. Humans are tribal, and we kind of dig in. But I think with the Major situation, there was enough there that made people believe he was being treated unfairly. And I think Marvel themselves, honestly, was surprised at his sentencing. I think they thought he would probably get off. That's important because I do believe this story from Screen Geek. I do believe that Marvel is considering, and that specifically Kevin Feige himself is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back. I truly believe that. But the difference is, I don't think this is happening anytime soon. Okay? Now, let me just try to be clear about this, and then we'll talk about the TMZ article that came out. Because, man, if they didn't realize before how many people wanted this to happen, I think they realize now. If you're a big supporter of Jonathan Majors, like, dude, kudos to you. You guys made some serious noise online. You blew up a lot of tweets and videos. And I think it's, Marvel pays attention to this stuff, even if they act like they don't. They definitely pay attention to this sort of stuff. So they're aware now of how big of a deal this is and how much support he's getting from the actual fans, okay? So I think that all of that is real. But there's this reality of Doomsday and Secret Wars and X-Men and all of the other things that are going on with Marvel. Kevin obviously wears a lot of hats. He spins a lot of plates. He's involved in a lot of things. But the priority right now is allowing all of these movies and shows to pop off in 2025 as they build some of the most important movies that they have ever built. And I'm talking about Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, potentially World War Hulk or whatever happens there, and then Secret Wars. These are some of the most important movies that Marvel has ever created. They're some of the most ambitious projects ever created for Marvel. And I am almost certain that Jonathan Majors as Kang will be zero part of that. He is zero part of that, to the degree that I don't even think you're going to get a Kang mention. I don't think we'll see the Council of Kangs dealt with on screen. I could be wrong, and they could perhaps do that. But, like, as far as I am aware, my perspective on this is that you are not getting anything with regards to Kang for any of the coming movies. Okay, so this is not a hard pivot from Marvel. This is not Marvel waking up and being like, you know what? The public perception on Jonathan has changed. Let's now inject him back into these movies. No, 100% zero. That's not happening. But what I do think is happening is Kevin is keeping an eye on Jonathan, his career, his, reform, and how the public is responding to that. And I think that Kevin is potentially interested and considering bringing Jonathan back in some way, shape, or form. Now, there's all sorts of stories and ways that you could do this after Secret Wars. He could come back in the Champions show, something to do with the future, the multiverse. There could be something involved with the Celestials and something really grand in scale, and you could bring the character back as a character that went to the Beyond verse and now has come back with some kind of knowledge, etc., etc. There's even a chance to just do a solo series that wraps up the story of that character or something. And I think that's probably more of what Marvel is looking to do. And part of why I think that is because of this article, which we have to pull this up on the screen. This came out last night. It made a lot of waves, did. So this is TMZ. Jonathan Majors not in talks for Marvel comeback. Jonathan Majors is not being considered for a return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least not currently, despite reports to the contrary. Multiple sources with direct knowledge, that means they talked to a bunch of people at Marvel, tell TMZ Jonathan has not engaged in any talks to return to the MCU after he was booted in 2023 following the guilty verdict. Despite rumors of a potential return gaining traction on fan websites, our sources say the studio is not considering bringing Jonathan back into the MCU fold. Jonathan was well on his way to becoming Kang the Conqueror a couple of years ago, but it all came crashing down only hours after he was found guilty of 2 counts. Yeah, they had those statements ready to go. Majors has been working hard to rehab his image ever since, but the MCU return is not in the cards, at least for now. So if you put these two stories together, right? Kevin Feige is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back to the MCU. Jonathan Majors is not currently in talks for the comeback. I think the obvious answer here is that, if you believe the initial report, which again I do, this is something at the highest levels of consideration. Maybe Marvel's Parliament, maybe Marvel's just small group of people that put stuff up on the whiteboard. This is something they're considering, but this is not in active talks. This will not happen anytime soon. And I frankly think if Jonathan really wants this to happen, he needs to go out there and rehabilitate his actual career. It's one thing to rehabilitate your image, especially with, in this world, man, there's just so many different communities and sub-communities and groups of people that might frankly side with Jonathan Majors as far as his legal battle or, some of the perceived unfairness of that. But are those people all going to show up to his movies and buy tickets? I think we'll find out. And I think Marvel's going to be following that closely too, because, this might sound a little cold or whatever, but this cannot just be about redemption and doing the right thing for Marvel. I think the only reason that Kevin is even considering this is because I think he believes there's potential interest there and that they could do something cool that fans would like. One thing I know for sure about Kevin Feige, just after following, his studio for so closely for such a big part of my life, is that he is obsessed with shocking and satisfying the fans. And that's something that Marvel Studios is always talking about and considering. And they like the meta stuff. They like to see what's going on in the fan base, and they'll deliver stuff. Now, have they been weird about this before in the past? Absolutely. They've made some changes to things that I thought were whack. You know, I think Ralph Boner's probably the best example of that. But for the most part, the studio is aware of what the fans are generally into, and they want to put dope stuff into their projects and shows. So the truth about Jonathan Majors, I think the best way I could say it, there is a path forward for Jonathan. It will not happen anytime soon. And I think Jonathan needs to continue to rebuild his image. And also he needs to sell some movie tickets and rehabilitate that career a little bit. And I think if he does those things, I think you could see an eventual comeback to Marvel Studios, and he could potentially do some really great work over there, which I would be down with. This situation, I think you either have to believe one or two things. TMZ is way more reliable and way more into like their reputation than Screen Geek here. You know, nothing against Screen Geek, but the stakes are not high when an outlet like that puts out information. TMZ, when they put something out, the stakes are high. It matters. They could get sued. You know, they could lose brand partnerships, etc. So I believe TMZ. The shit ain't happening, at least not anytime soon. The only choice there is do you believe that this is the permanent status, or do you believe there might be something to the Screen Geek article and perhaps a way forward for Majors after maybe some more rehabilitation? That is the story as best as I can say it. And of course, I'm really interested to know everything that you guys think about this. So we'll get into Q&A in just a second here, and I'm excited to see what you all have to say about that. The only other thing I need to say today, man, the only other thing I want to say on the main portion of the show before we get into the Q&A, talk a little bit about Fantastic Four, talk a little bit about Captain America, and talk about Jonathan Majors. The only other thing I want to say is that I'm really hyped up for Invincible Season 3. And I talked to you guys about this on Monday. I don't think we talked about it yesterday because it was a different kind of stream. We were just reacting to the Fantastic Four trailer. But I talked about this on Monday. I have a big old video dropping today. It'll drop pretty close to when we get out of here, when we're done with this stream. And I'll promote it on like Twitter and on the Discord. I put a lot of work into this video. I almost don't want to say that because a lot of the time when you put a lot of work into a video, it doesn't perform well on YouTube. It's just one of those goddamn things. And you're like, oh, this other video that I didn't really try on blew up, but this one I cared about and it didn't. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to put it out there anyway. Put a bunch of work into this video. And the other thing is I was talking this show up on Monday, right? Well, literally later that day, the first reviews for Invincible Season 3 started to come out online. They are glorious. It debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and not just 100%, but a lot of the people that were covering that thing, they were saying what I was saying, meaning this show is back, and this new season is a return to form, and it's hype as hell. So, Invincible Season 3, man, I'm looking forward to it. I think I might even wake up early tomorrow so that I can like watch all of the episodes before stream. I might even do like a breakdown video about it or whatever, but 3 episodes drop tomorrow, 3 a.m., which sucks. And I wish it was just like tonight, man. Oh, I would do like a watch party or something maybe if it was tonight. But yeah, Invincible Season 3, that shit drops tomorrow. It's going to be hyped up. Make sure you watch the video later today. It'll get you really excited and share a bunch of cool info about the show. And then we'll talk about it maybe a little bit tomorrow on stream. And maybe I'll have to do like a spoiler-filled video. Not really sure. Okay. So that is the news today. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of fun stuff. And now we're going to get into the questions and answers. So let me pull this stuff up. I'll start to catch up on all of the chats, super chats, and member chats. I really appreciate all the support. And then we will get into the chat too, just to see what you guys are talking about. Okay? Okay. Steve McT, very interesting question here off the bat, says, scene with Sue going invisible, 100% giving birth. Okay, so let me give a little context here. What Steve is saying is that the part of the Fantastic Four trailer where we see Sue Storm kind of going in and out of invisibility, and you have Pedro kind of putting his hand on her face, and it feels really intimate. He is saying that that scene is the birth sequence, and what he is referring to is the birth of Franklin Richards. We talked about this earlier, but yeah, Franklin Richards, huge part of this movie, a big rumor. I think it's real. And there were rumors that that scene, or rather, there were rumors that the birth of Franklin Richards was going to happen in space. It's okay. My brain is still working. Don't worry. That the birth was going to happen in space. Now, here's what I'll tell you about that scene. I've looked at that thing quite a bit, and I think you're right. I think it is the birth. And one of the reasons why, and I can pull this up and actually show you, it's kind of cool. One of the reasons why is because if you, and actually, you know what? I'll show you guys a couple of cool things that I noticed in the trailer. You know, let's do this a little bit. So you've got this shot here. These are the suits when they first go up into space. Now, obviously, they are not the Fantastic Four because that shit did not happen yet. But it's really important to note that the patch on the arm is just a normal NASA or space patch. The space outfits themselves are very basic, very sparse. They are mostly white with a little bit of blue padding and stuff like that. Okay, so there's actually a couple of interesting things going on here. Number one, look at this. You see these spacesuits in the back here? These are different. They're different than the OG spacesuits. They have blue helmets, and they have a lot more blue in their actual patterns. And I think they're more of like the costumes for the actual Fantastic Four. But let's get into these shots here. If you look at these shots, that suit, and you can really tell right at the beginning here. Oh, geez. Right here. You can see the Fantastic Four patch on his arm. Now, what does that mean? It means this is not the incident where they get their powers. It can't be, because the Fantastic Four does not exist before they get their powers, right? So this is clearly not when they're first getting their powers. It could be the birth. She is outside of her spacesuit here, and she is seemingly laying on some kind of object, and things are going on, and it's really crazy. So this absolutely could be the birth of Franklin Richards. Now, the thing that I think is kind of wild about that is, like, why would they need to go to space to have the birth of Franklin Richards? Because it's almost like hinted at in the dialogue, because Pedro's like, the last time we went up, which kind of implies that they are having a conversation about going up again, right? And it almost feels like she's telling Reed, we need to go to space for this birth. Which, I mean, I'm all about mom deciding the birth plan. You know, that's you basically have to follow along with whatever mom wants to do for the birth plan. It's her show. But holy, going into space, that's a big ask, especially if you're paranoid about, you know, cosmic rays and shit like that. Now, another thing, and by the way, I'm going to try not to do too many spoilers right now because I want to do a full video that kind of breaks down some of the wild things that we've heard, right? Something else that's kind of interesting. Oh, man, I'm going to just give away all the cool shit, aren't I? Something else that's kind of interesting is you can tell there's been a passing of time, and it's possible, like, here, I'll just say one rumor. Okay, I'll say one rumor, and I'll try to connect it to this footage. There is a rumor that the team will actually disband after Franklin Richards is born. They split up. They break up like the Beatles. They're no longer going to be the Fantastic Four. And then they come back together later on when Silver Surfer shows up. Okay? So if you look at the very beginning of the trailer here, right? Sue Storm has like really short hair. Okay? And I try to like clock read on his hair and everything here, but he ends up looking very similar throughout almost all of the trailer. But this is very early on. And then you have other shots where the hair's a lot longer, including this shot with Ben. Where's it at here? Right here, right? Hair's a lot longer. It's up in a ponytail, and it's almost to that same length. It's a lot longer there, too. And I actually think this sequence here with Johnny getting into this spacesuit, I think this is after a long time, and he hasn't been around, and he comes back to the Baxter building, goes into his old room, and puts on the old suit. I think he's in here kind of like goofing off with the old suit. Okay? And part of the reason why I think that is because, like, if you look at the clothes he's wearing right here, a little bit more modern, these shots here are actually the key. And there's another sequence actually earlier on. Right here. Look at this sequence. Now, her hair is a lot longer. She's wearing that same kind of shawl that she was wearing when she enters into the room and Johnny's in the suit. And Johnny's wearing more modern stuff here. And also, look at Ben in this shot. You kind of can't see it. He's kind of cut off on the screen you're looking at. But Ben looks yoked, dude. He looks a lot bigger than he looks at other times in the trailer. And he looks even taller. Like, it could be the angle here. But in some of the other shots, he is shorter than Sue. This shot, they're like running into the room. This is when all of the asteroids hit and whatnot. And Ben looks yoked. He looks bigger than he's ever been. And I think there's a passing of time here. And that Ben Grimm might be getting a lot bigger. Kind of interesting, huh? And these are at night when all of those meteorites are coming in. So, yeah, I think there's different time periods that are being shown in the trailer. And I tend to agree. That could be the birth of Franklin. Joshua says, 3 months, let's fucking go. Also, watched Iron Man 2 last night and dealing with the palindrome poisoning alone without wanting to help or tell anyone, and handling it this way is 100% Doom. Yeah, that's a big Dr. Doom element for sure, Joshua. And appreciate the support. John Solo says, the scene in the Fantastic Four trailer with debris falling from the sky, the split in the middle kind of looks like one of the branching timelines. Thoughts? It does kind of, doesn't it? Yeah. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Let's look at this together. I could see it. Yeah, it kind of looks like one of the branching timelines up there. I don't know if that's what it is or not. I tend to think this is maybe like Silver Surfer and Galactus first showing up to Earth, and maybe this is like an asteroid storm of like Galactus picks up a part of the moon or picks up some, debris and hucks it at Earth, and then the Silver Surfer comes down with this or something. But yeah, I could see what you're saying. I mean, the cut across the sky there, doesn't it kind of seem though that could just be a cloud and the asteroids are like kind of cutting through the cloud? Also, too, what are the odds that kid is Franklin Richards? I almost want to say there was a moment in the Jonathan Hickman comics where Franklin did dress up like Ben for like Halloween or something. I'm not 100% sure. But what are the odds? What are the odds that this is Franklin here? Wouldn't that be wild? Appreciate you, John. Kaylin J says, I had a rumor, what if the F4 team up with their old villains to defeat a common enemy, Galactus, and they all fight to save the world? Nerd Avengers for life. Huh. I mean, that could be cool. That could be interesting. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of wild rumors about this movie. I don't think that's one of them, frankly. I haven't really heard that. It's possible. It would also be kind of bittersweet because one of the other big rumors is that like this whole universe is going to be destroyed. I mean, you've seen a lot of the scoopers and the insiders like saying basically the reason this world is not 616 is so that Galactus can do as much damage as he wants. And that's a big draw. The fans want to see Galactus messing things up. And the movie now not being in 616 allows them to, just do that. Noah says, Josh, whatever you do, don't talk about Warhammer. We're on the way to MegaCon, and the last thing I need is Rossi falling asleep at the wheel. Hey, much love. Oh, shit. You guys are on the way to MegaCon. I know a bunch of the Nerd Vengers are going there for a meetup, and that's super cool. I wish you guys nothing but the best. I hope you have an incredible con. And you know what? I think it's time to switch into some Warhammer. And maybe we do about an hour of Warhammer. What do you think, guys? Talk about the War in Heaven, the Eldar. That could be really cool. Get into some of the Primarch stuff. Talk about the Emperor. I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in chat. And I hope you guys have a good time, man. I hope Rossi didn't just like spin off the road. Also, look, I'm not trying to be that guy, but what the hell is up with the likes today, guys? We got like 900 people watching and 236 likes. You guys are slacking. Did I not put the poll up? Is that what's going on? I didn't do the poll, so you guys can't like the video? Holy, man, I just noticed that shit. That's out of control. I'm not trying to be mean, but we need like hundreds of more likes. You guys all need to do it. You need to do it. Nobody's doing it. Oh my God. I'm going to have to end the whole stream. Okay, let's keep going here though. Space Trick Serial TM says, the thing looks like Fantastic Mr. Fox claymation. What? Ain't no way. Chat, ain't no way. Guys, chat, help me out here. I think the thing looks great. Do you agree? Yes or no? Put a yes or a no into the chat. A Y or an N. I think the thing looks incredible. Am I crazy? This guy says he looks like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. It looks like the Fantastic Mr. Fuck You, buddy, because no. Hell nah. We will not accept any Ben Grimm slander. Yeah, you see? Chat's real excited, man. You got everybody real fired up. I hope you're happy. Space Trick Cereal. Joshua says, I'm going to have to wear a jockstrap when Vanessa shows up. Yeah, no, I mean, look, Vanessa Kirby is quite a babe. Hey, can we talk about something else too, randomly? What's up with like this contingent of people that are trying to say that Vanessa Kirby is not like attractive? Did you see this? Chat, did you guys see this? There are people out there that are trying to claim that Vanessa Kirby is like not attractive. Who are these people? What is going? This feels like a psyop. That's nuts, dude. She is a total babe. She looked incredible. Stunning. People. She looked stunning people. Yesterday. People. She looked good. I can't believe it, man. It's just wild to me. The internet never fails to blow my mind, man. But you know what? I'll say something. There is a little bit of like different strokes for different folks, right? And I'll say this just because I saw that my wife was in the chat. There are some people out there that like everybody in the world thinks is like super hot, super amazing, really cool, and I just don't see it at all. And I'll throw one out there. Get ready, little controversial. Sabrina Carpenter. I'm sorry. Look, she seems like a really nice girl. I know she's got a lot of fans. People really like her, whatever. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't get it. And, look, it's fine. It's fine. Different strokes for different folks, right? But, Vanessa Kirby, though, I don't know, man. I feel like Vanessa Kirby's kind of like undeniably conventionally attractive. Like, you know what I mean? Damn. Kaylin J says, this is the last movie before Doomsday. They have to set up some big stuff. Oh, are you talking about the Fantastic Four? Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's a super big deal, and that's another crazy part of the trailer. Great trailer. I think a lot of people are excited, but it doesn't really set a lot of stuff up. It doesn't show us how this movie's going to directly tie into Doomsday. And it feels very odd because it's in a completely different universe. There's no other heroes. Like, how could this movie, like, if you just saw the trailer, okay? If you just saw the trailer, right? And then you were like, wait a minute, that's the direct tie-on in and setup for Doomsday, you'd probably be like super confused, right? But there's a lot that they are not showing, and that's really exciting. I'm pretty pumped about it. By the way, I can see chat going crazy about Sabrina Carpenter, and I know, like, my wife loves Sabrina Carpenter, like, thinks she's a total babe, super big fan, and I'm always just like, yeah, all right. You know, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. Different strokes, different folks. Zach says, bro, I think Marvel will be fine. I think if it helps having lower expectations for Cap 4. So ultimately, it's not great, but they can get past it and get right back into Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. We are back, and I appreciate the 10 spot on that, man. That's very generous. I'd have to agree. I mean, I think Marvel's going to be fine. Captain America Brave New World's a huge question mark for me. You know, I kind of said my piece during the segment today, but it's tough because a lot of it was looking really cool. Those clips. Guys, can we talk about those clips a little bit? I didn't get to see a lot of how you were reacting as we were watching those clips. Like, what do you guys think of those clips? Like, am I crazy, or do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Because, dude, I found those clips to be rough, bro. Like, those were rough, man. I was like, oh, man, I hope there's not a lot of this in the movie. Like, I hope it's not like an hour and a half of scenes like that, and then, like, some scenes that are actually cool. Yeah. Okay, I see a lot of you agree. I just want to make sure, right? I want to make sure I'm not crazy. Holy, bro. Oof. I hope it's not a lot of that. If that represents the majority of the film, that's going to be tough, man. That's going to be tough. Benjamin says, Josh, my package to you is estimated to arrive on Saturday. Keep an eye or 3 out for it. Would love to see you open it on stream on Sunday. Okay, sick. Yeah, I'll take a look at it on Saturday. And if it does arrive, hopefully I'll have it by Sunday so that we can check it out. Sunday stream's going to be really fun, man. It's going to be a good time. Jake McNabb with a 10 spot. Appreciate the love. Says, why is Harrison Ford so overly exhausted and out of breath for the entire clip that they showed? I thought they smelled bad, gasp 2, times 2, on the outside. I don't know, man. I mean, it feels like they had this scene written and they shot it and they were like, all right, Harrison Ford, you're going to be on this Peloton, but you're not doing the whole thing. Your secretary is going to come in. You're going to talk about this upcoming thing, and you're going to try to, like, cheekily play it off that you're not actually working out the whole time or whatever. I don't know, man. It's just, and no offense to the lady there, but goddamn, that was some terrible acting. Like, whew, just, ooh, that was rough. That was tough. That's going to be what it feels like for us when we get out of the movie. We're all going to be out of breath, patting our hair down, etc. Joshua says, maybe they're lowering expectations so it pops off. You know what's funny about that, man? I was thinking about that too, where I was like, I wonder if somebody at Marvel Studios was like, you know, we've popped off a good bit lately. And people seem to be really into the movie, but we know this thing's a big old piece of shit, so we better dial it back a little bit. Why don't we drop a couple of clips? What are some clips we have? They took a look at the clips and they're like, oh yeah, that'll do it. Put that shit out there so they know it's not all gravy. Like, I wonder, you think that's what's going on? they're trying to curb people's expectations. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Zach, thank you for gifting a membership, brother. Appreciate it. Jacob Witherby, appreciate you coming back to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger. Now, watch those wrist rockets says, is Spidey tonight or 3 a.m.? Much love. I actually do think Spidey is already out. Like, chat, am I crazy? Or is that Spider-Man show already out? I think it's already out. I was not able to watch it this morning because I was working on the Invincible video and then working on the stream. But I'm pretty sure it's out. 3 episodes this week. I'm going to check that out. I'm excited. I might even do a video on that Spider-Man show, especially when it's all said and done, because, dude, it's very impressive. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with that. Dude, I just noticed the Fantastic Four trailer is #1 on trending with over 20 million views yesterday. That's pretty good. That is pretty dang good, I'll say. I'll say it. I think it's pretty good. Let's see here. Do you think John Malkovich is Nathaniel Richards? No, I don't think so. I have no reason to think so. I understand that people love that character in the comics. They see a slight similarity. But no, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like the rumor mill would be on that. I think he is Kragoff. Yeah, I don't really think it's that deep. But I love that thought, though. You know, like I love people saying, like, "Oh, I wonder if that's Nathaniel Richards." Maybe you guys will be proven to be correct. Philip Hatch says, "Josh, I didn't like Ben's voice while he's the Thing. I can't imagine this dude saying it's clobbering time. Do you think that they should beef up his voice?" So I'll say a couple of things on this. Number one, I was not bothered by it. I did notice that a lot of people were bothered by it. So I saw a lot of that conversation going on. And yeah, I mean, I think that's something Marvel should take into account. For me, though, I like the fact that it's just Eben. I mean, Eben is pretty popular. And I think people really like how he plays the different characters, like the guy on the bear, etc. So I think it's probably good that he sounds like that. However, what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that he gets bigger and maybe more grizzled over time. You know, I sort of showed some of the shots earlier, but it looks like initially he's shorter, not as big. And then there are some other shots in the trailer where it looks like the Thing has grown and he's more muscular and perhaps even taller. And I wonder if his voice gets a little bit more raspy when we get to it. But even if it doesn't, I'm down. I kind of like the voice. I'm down with it. Curious as to what you guys think in the chat. Do you feel the same way? Are you thrown off by the voice, or do you like it? Let me know. Let me know what you think, man. Let's see here. Joshua says, hopefully a surprise movie pops up at the end of the year. A surprise movie? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean, brother. Space Trick Cereal says, Cap 4 clips are wiping with sandpaper rough. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. I think so, too. Check Screen Crush's breakdown of the FF trailer. Their theory on the fire debris is spot on and hype. Okay, cool. I will definitely check that out. There's a lot of videos I want to do. A lot of stuff I'm curious about. Like, one thing, and I don't think I've seen other people talk about this, but you know the shot where Johnny comes out of the atmosphere and then he's no longer flame on? I think that's from the Silver Surfer. I feel like this happened in the other Silver Surfer movie. And I feel like Johnny can absolutely flame on in space with no oxygen. I could be crazy. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty damn sure in the comics, Johnny can do flames in space. Pretty sure I've seen him flying outside of spaceships, etc., etc. So I think what's going on is Johnny flies out of the atmosphere and the Silver Surfer is there, and perhaps she is dampening his powers or maybe like taking them away. It's kind of similar to what happened in the movie. And they're all power cosmic, beings. So, yeah, that's what I think is going on, but we'll see. Kaiju C Superfan says, do you think we'll see the Sentry, the full suit, in the Super Bowl trailer Sunday? I would love to. I hope so. I want to see full-on Sentry, and I want to see Sentry, you know, looking badass, doing a bunch of damage, being unstoppable. I think that would be really cool. There's also the potential that Marvel just teases that. Like, maybe they're not going to show us the full thing. Maybe it's just a tease. And I could understand that, and I could respect it. For me, though, I kind of hope that they show a bunch of Sentry and they tease the Void. I think that would be sick, right? So you have, you know, why not just show us Sentry, let us see what exactly he looks like, get excited about it, and then if you still want to tease us with a little bit of the Void. You know what I mean? Make that shit crazy. Let's see here. Randon Loomer says, Ben Grimm sounds great. I'm sure he'll get crazy during the action. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be like a little crazy, a little more grizzled when he's in the action, grunting. I could see it's clobbering time, too. I think we're going to be fine on that. I think that'll be good. Space Rick Serial says, converted 2 more to the love of the Emperor. We are all going to a 40K store next week. Dwarves and Knights, baby. How many armies are there? How many armies are there? What? How many armies are there? There's a bunch of armies, man. I think there's like close to 20 different factions. And there's different sub-factions of Space Marines. There's different sub-factions of the Elves. Yeah, there's a lot to it. Also, I think that's sick, dude. You're going to have a great time at your Warhammer store. Unless it's like a really shitty Warhammer store. Most of the Warhammer stores I've been to are crazy. Like, the management and the team, incredible. Very helpful. They'll talk you through all sorts of stuff. They're well-versed in everything Warhammer. It's always a really good, welcoming vibe. They have painting classes, different models on display, tons of cool stuff to buy, a bunch of cool merch. Warhammer stores are cool, man. First time I went to a Warhammer store, I was blown away. And there's one in my town that I try to go to often as well. It's really cool. So good for you, man. It's going to be a good experience. Moose says, another month being a part of the best community. Super excited to see Vanessa Kirby, like that, and get past Captain Un-American. Oh no, Captain Un-American? Damn. That's a brutal nickname, and I guess after Mackie made those comments, it kind of makes sense. You know, it's so weird, bro, because, you know, we covered the Mackie comments, and I tried to handle it, you know, with nuance and try to explain it. But at the end of the day, like, I hope everybody understands still that, like, he just should not have said that shit. Because, like, when my dad is hearing about this, like, via Fox News, and he doesn't know shit about Marvel, or he's not into it at all, but, like, this story's so big and it's, you know, being driven in a political direction, and he's hearing about it, and he's asking me about it, like, that's how you know he definitely should not have said that, because it just gets weaponized and it gets spread out and it causes, like, a bad narrative. And you can't just explain that away to people. Like, even my dad, like, I explained it to him and I tried to explain, like, what was going on. And he was, like, you know, open-minded to the nuance, but it didn't really matter. Like, he kind of already made up his mind that, like, the new Captain America doesn't like America. And that's wild. And for some people, like, that's just as simple as it's going to get. Like, they're not going to look into it that much further, which is why you can't say that shit. Like, you absolutely 100% should not have said that. I don't know that it will end up having a big impact on the movie overall, but it was a huge L, bro. Should have done it. Joshua says, I like Doctor Strange Time Runs Out or other Doom setup. I mean, I love the Doctor Strange Times Runs Out thing too. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to there, but hell yeah, man. That's going to be fun. And then Steve McT says, isn't the Future Foundation formed after Johnny's death? No. The Future Foundation is formed after the end of the Council of Reeds. Okay, so Reed, he has a think tank on the regular Earth with a bunch of influential people. And then he also has a group of multiversal Reed Richards, that he encounters. Okay. And after the shit falls apart with the Council of Reeds, because they're trying to solve all of these problems. But the thing about the council is they all abandon their families. So this is actually really interesting. It's a key part of all of those Reed Richards. They all abandon Sue and the Fantastic Four, and they all abandon their kids if they have them. They abandon their families, and they become the Council of Reeds. Our Reed is not willing to do that, and also the council gets destroyed anyway. So after that, Reed, back on Earth, shuts down his think tank, and that's when he forms the Future Foundation. And the Future Foundation is designed to be a bunch of young people that are all trying to solve the world's problems. And Reed's whole concept was a lot of the older people that were in that think tank, they're just looking out for themselves or their own piece of everything. To get people that are truly invested in the future, you have to get young geniuses, because that's their future. That's what they will actually inherit. That's the idea of the Future Foundation. The Future Foundation changes after Johnny dies. And there's this really iconic scene where Valeria Richards, she erases their whole to-do list, the Future Foundation's to-do list, and she writes, to do, kill, annihilus. And it's a very iconic thing in comics. But no, they technically form before that. Good question, though. Bro, I was following up my other comment. Hopefully it surprised me. Oh, I see what you mean. I wouldn't count on that, brother. I'm just going to be real with you. I would not count on that. It's possible, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think these are the movies, and I think Doomsday is early next year. Can you believe it? Early next year. In a couple of months from now, we'll be about a year away from Avengers Doomsday. That's nuts. So that'd be cool. I don't think you're getting anything before that other than the post-credit scene for Fantastic Four. I think Doomsday is going to do a lot of its own story lifting as far as the character of RDJ, Doctor Doom, etc., etc. And yeah, we'll go from there. But that's what I think you're getting. John Bo says, I'm surprised Disney didn't force Marvel to make Red Hulk orange. Anyway, here's my money for a diaper. Much love. Appreciate you. I'm surprised Disney didn't force Marvel to make Red Hulk orange. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know how much effort there was actually given to make that allegory. I don't think it's that deep, man. I mean, maybe you could argue that it was a bad decision because of all the political discourse and because of the attention that would be coming from, all of that. But I don't think they did this necessarily as intentionally as you think. I think they want to have Red Hulk, and I think they thought it would be interesting to have Ross as the president and then him become Red Hulk. That adds to the political thriller, but I don't think they're trying to say shit as far as political allegory. Maybe we'll have to see the movie, but so far I haven't seen any of that. You know what I mean? To me, I'm not really seeing that. Rossi says, I'll flip my car better than Superman in the James Gunn trailer, and I'll land it. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, why don't you calm down there, blood? Why don't you calm down and just keep your eyes on the road? Holy. Let me check out what Twitch is saying a little bit here, and then we're going to get on out of here. Hype for the Fantastic Four, baby. Any updates on nudity? Unfortunately not. I do have to touch base with the team. I'm hoping to be able to do that very soon. Marvel needs to own up their mistake and bring Jonathan Majors back. Dude is innocent. He is, by definition, guilty, unless he wins an appeal. But yeah, I mean, I understand the energy behind that. I think there's a lot of people that feel like he was treated unfairly. And if he was, he should just appeal, right? Although I'm not 100% sure. Maybe he can't appeal. I'm not really sure. Yeah. New Cap 4 clip looks solid, says Kalen. Where's it at? What clip? Is it new? Let me see. Let me look this up. Did this come out on GMA? It's 21 seconds. Is this the one? Is this what you're talking about? 21 seconds? I want to take you for a ride. Is this the one? Pull it up for 21 seconds? Pull it up? 21 seconds? We want to pull it up? Okay.
Upload the compound's covert entry points.
Covert? Really? You must be new.
Wait for it.
Yeah, but that's not that great. I mean, look, I'm going to be real. That was cool, but come on, man. Is this really what this is what you sent me? 21 seconds and it's shit we've already seen? Come on, man. No, this can't be it. This can't be it. Is it a different clip? Somebody help me out here. Is he talking about a different clip? No. It can't be. It can't be. That's the clip. That's the clip. Now we're back to being excited. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to get out of here. That was cool, but not new. I mean, it was all right. It was all right. Okay, everybody. Oh, there's another clip. Yeah, I bet there is. I bet there is. Guess what? We ain't watching that shit. All right, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll talk more about Captain Un-American. We'll talk more about Cap next week, man. We're going to find out. We'll find out together. If this movie's dope, I'm going to sing its praises. You know what I mean? I'm going to sing its praises. I might even make a whole musical and act it out as a solo show for all of you to express how grateful I am about this movie and why I think it was completely misunderstood. Okay? So we'll touch on that next week. No duty. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, we got jokes right at the end? Oh, we got jokes? Vanessa Kirby is great, but she's no Josh Ray Skywalker Lucas. Oh, we got jokes? We got fucking jokes? And then Rossi says, I agree with you. That's Sabrina Carpenter. Get that out of my face. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Hey, yo, is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh, man. Oh, Marvel's got some fire coming, man. Marvel's got some fire. Fantastic Four looking incredible. God damn. Thunderbolt's about to pop off, and wait till you see that Sentry. Daredevil Born Again. I mean, hell, even the new woke as hell cartoon and Spider-Man thing's real chill. I like that shit. If we can just get past cringe as hell Captain Un-American Clearly, they hate the fans. And Anthony Mackie took a dump on American flag. I don't know if you heard that happened. That was crazy. All we need to do is get past this Captain America movie next week, and then it's smooth sailing for Marvel Studios. I can't wait. Sasha says, what did I miss? Everything regarding the Odyssey? Yeah, you missed that shit. You missed that shit. Why is everybody super chatting right at the end here? We're done. We're done with everything. James 01 says, how did Nerdhammer go? It went good. We're trying to record another episode. We want to get a couple in the tank. We got a lot going on. Just chill out. Just chill out. It's coming soon. Everybody relax. Holy. Okay, everybody. Appreciate you. Take care of yourselves. Remember to open up your third eye. And wash out your stinky butt hole. And this music, I mean, do it to this music. It's gonna help out. It'll be great. Just think about it. With this music, just think about a nice soapy wash. You know, really get in there, you know.